Hi Flostube, this is Tina Fraser coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Monday, October 1st at approximately 9:35 p.m. and I'm kind of coming to you with a little bit of an update and just to kind of show you a couple of things that I have going on. So, one of the things I wanted to show you first in this week's update is many of you know that I've signed up to do the Santa's House mystery sampler or mystery series. Part 1, the house pattern, the actual house, part 1, the house, is out today. So I have the fabric for this, and I'm going to actually go ahead and serge up the other two edges. I don't know if you remember from my last video, but I have the other two edges on my cappuccino fabric that I have to serge. So I'm going to serge that. If you see here, right next to me, I have my... Sorry about the camera. My sewing machine. I'm sitting in my kitchen, actually. We had some friends over for games tonight, and they just left, so I'm going to sit here and do a couple of things. One of the other things that's going on. So I got the first part of Santa's house in today. This is the actual, surrounding house and surroundings. The first room, which is this room down here, I believe, comes out in another couple of weeks. Room 1 comes out October 15th. I believe this down here is room 1. Let me double check on that. Yes, room 1, which is down here, comes out October 15th. So I do have the pattern for the house now, so I'm actually going to get my fabric serged up, just in case I decide to start that sometime soon. So that came today. I didn't really get anything new except for Caterpillar cross stitch. They have lots of Needleminders, and they're doing the 12 days of Stitchmas pattern. So you have the 12 days of Stitchmas, stitch along, that's going on. They have a Needleminder that kind of goes along with it, and I forgot that I had actually ordered it, and that Needleminder came in today. So we have the 12 days of Stitchmas enamel Needleminder, and this is part of the thing. It's the partridge in a pear tree Needleminder. Look how cute that is, you guys. Sorry, it's not focusing very well, but it's a partridge in a pear. It's not focusing really well. There we go. Partridge in a pear. So, I have my Caterpillar Needleminder to go with my 12 days of Stitchmas that I am actually doing on a piece of white even weave. I think this was some of that fabric that you can get at Joann's or Michaels. I'm doing this I believe this is 28 count. So the piece I have is about a 16 by 18, which is what you need. The pattern for the 12 days of Stitchmas on 14 count is 9.7 by 11.9. So to get the fabric margins, you need to add about 6 inches to each side. 3 inches left and right and 3 inches top and bottom. Now, the interesting thing about this piece of fabric is I've had it on hand, and at one point in time I used one of those water-soluble blue pens to mark it, and you can see that you can actually still see the grid markings on this. Even though I've wet it, you can still see where the old grid markings used to be. And I'm not sure, I've wet this a couple of times to try and get the blue out. The blues mostly come out except for right along here. You can see the blue here. But you can actually, if the light hits it just right, you can actually see where the grid lines were. Hopefully somebody can tell me if that'll come out in the wash. I'm not really sure if it'll wash out or not. I may actually have to end up, because that may be stained, I may actually have to end up staining the whole thing once I get done. We'll see how it looks and how it washes up, but I may actually have to end up like staining this when I get done stitching. This up here, this dark mark, is in the fabric. That's nothing that I did. That's just something that was in the fabric. But so I'm doing this on I believe it's a 28 count even weave, and I have my Needleminder to go with it. So I will also be serging the ends on this. But the main thing that I kind of wanted to show you tonight, before I go into serging that, is some of you know by looking at my last video that, or looking at one of my couple last videos, that I picked up a Michaels Scary Berrry Silk Berry Collection pattern. And this is the Scary Berrry, a silk berry. Here. You can see that. Sorry about the glare. This comes with 40 count gauze. Let me get it open for you. This piece comes with a piece of 40 count gauze, and you're supposed to stitch it. I have most of the Weeks Dye Works stuff, but you're supposed to stitch it kind of in the shape of the you're supposed to stitch it in the shape in a kind of like a fan shape, and then where did the gauze go? Don't tell me I lost the gauze. That would suck. Did I lose the gauze for this? Are you kidding me? No, I didn't lose the gauze. The gauze is right here. Whew, thank goodness. So, sorry about that, you guys. I had a little momentary panic. But anyway, so here's the pattern outside of the packaging, so you can see it. So you're supposed to stitch it. It stitches up in a little fan shape, and then you sew it up into the little berry and add the fabric on the top. But I have decided that I'm actually going to take this pattern and stitch it flat, so I'm going to extend it so it's rectangular and probably frame it. But I'm going to use the gauze. So here's the silk gauze that it comes with. And in order to stitch on the piece of silk gauze, it was recommended to me by the ladies at my local needle workshop to get some muslin. So I have some muslin here. This is just, you know, a yard. I believe I got a yard of muslin. Maybe I only got a half a yard. Might have only got a half yard, but I got some muslin here. So basically what I'm going to do is stitch the silk gauze onto the muslin, cut out the hole. You can't see the muslin because it's the same color, but I'm going to cut out the hole where the muslin is, and then use the or cut out the hole where the 40 count gauze is, and then use the muslin to put the gauze in a hoop and stitch it that way. So that is kind of what I was going to do here for you tonight, was just kind of go through that and work on trying to do that. So bear with me just a minute. I just realized that I have to go get some scissors so I can cut the muslin, and then I'm going to get my hoop and I'll be right back. So bear with me just a minute. Alright, see you in a bit. Hi there again. I got my hoop and I got my scissors, so I'm ready to get started. I have to adjust the camera just a little bit, so bear with me while I kind of adjust things here a little bit so you can get a better angle of kind of what I am doing. So this is just the cord for my sewing machine, which I don't need right at this point in time, so I'm actually going to put that kind of that way. Alright, so we have the muslin here, and here's the silk gauze. Here's my hoop. So I kind of need a piece of muslin. And I couldn't tell you what kind of muslin I got. I just got muslin. That's all I know. I'm not going to worry about ironing it because this is just scrap. Alright, so that's kind of about where I'm looking at, you know, being able to adjust. So, alright, get these undone. So, this muslin here, I can cut it Yeah, I'm not trying to be super careful with this. I just kind of need it to get the general, a general size for the hoop. Does anybody, if anybody's done this to stitch on 40 count gauze, if have you guys reused the piece that you cut to stitch your 40 count gauze to, so you could use a hoop and whatnot? Have you reused that piece of muslin? If so, like, what do you do? I mean, do you just get another piece of, do you just get like another piece of 40 count gauze and stick to it and whatnot? Alright, so I have my muslin, I have my stuff, my 40 count gauze, and you're not going to be able to see this because the gauze is the same color as the muslin. So, and I have my straight pins here. I'm going to go ahead and pin it in a couple of places, kind of in the middle of my muslin. Okay. Yeah. All right. So. Okay, that is mostly straight. Get the corners tacked down. Get down! My cat Char just jumped up on the table because she's curious. She's a very curious cat, and she thinks the table is her territory. Alright, so we have that, we have that. Ow! I just stuck my finger. Ouch. Alright, so looks like we have the four corners tacked down. Let me turn this way. Have four corners tacked down. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is because, as you know, today started Dark October stitching. It's a stitch along for the month of October. Anything goes as long as it's fall, Halloween, cutesy, spooky, paranormal, whatever. Again, this doesn't have to be perfectly square on the fabric. I'm going to go ahead and pin it in a couple of different spots along the way so this doesn't pucker up. So it's Dark October stitching, and it's also, we are also on day 92 of the Heaven and Earth Design Challenge, which my piece happens to be kind of a fall theme with Hunter's Moon, and it's oranges and browns and reds and stuff. So I'm actually kind of using that double duty for what I'm doing. And so yeah, I'll be probably participating in Dark October stitch along. And this Michaels Scary Berrry that I'm preparing is probably going to be a new start for me this month, with any luck. Alright, so alright, so I don't know if there's any kind of clues in here. So let's see, cut a piece of sturdy woven fabric. Inside here they give you directions on how to baste it to another fabric. So cut a piece, hand baste the gauze, sew around the perimeter of the gauze to secure it in place. A zigzag stitch on a sewing machine, but you can also hand stitch it in place in small sturdy stitches. Flip everything over and carefully cut away a window. So we're actually going to go through and do this step down here, this step here. We've kind of basted it, not really, but we've kind of basted it to our fabric. I've pinned it to the fabric. I'm going to go ahead and use a zigzag stitch here now to get the fabric onto this. I actually bought some really nice kind of orange sulky thread to go with it. It's kind of an orange, like a Halloween orange color. It's brighter than what's showing up in here. It's kind of showing up as like a dark orange. It's kind of like a bright orange. This is this is Gutermann thread, or Gutermann thread. I got this at Joann's or wherever. So this is going to be my my basting thread. So I want to do a zigzag stitch. According to the directions, I want to do a zigzag stitch around the fabric. Alright, so let me move this out of the way. I'm going to move this out of the way. Let me get my floss back in there. I actually do have to pick up a couple of more skeins of floss because I don't have them all. So that's hopefully something I'm going to be doing. So, alright. We have that. The hoop I don't need just yet. I will put that out of the way. Sorry, the thing goes in and out. I don't think I need my scissors anymore. I'm going to go ahead and put these on here. These are Fiskars scissors, by the way. I got them in a multi-pack at Joann's. These are brand new. I haven't used these yet. I just took these out of a pack that I bought like a couple months ago. I think what I'm going to do is actually make a bobbin up for, or a thing up for this, and I brought an extra one here. Somewhere. Beep, beep, beep. Somewhere. There it is. Bobbin. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to use gray. I have gray. I have a dark gray already on a bobbin. I'm not really good at sewing, you guys. I've never really had training in sewing. I have a basic sewing machine because at one point in time I had, like, you know, pipe dreams of sewing my own clothes, and that lasted all of about a month. Made a couple of things and they didn't turn out super well. So, yeah. That's all I know. Alright, so I am almost ready. So that comes up. Oh, guess I gotta pop that off first. Where do you get the start for this? Hello? Oh. How do you start this thread, y'all? There we go. Wow, that's really thin thread. Put that on there. Alright, so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and turn this. This is just a basic Kenmore sewing machine. Just basic. We got this at Sears a long time ago when they were still around and selling sewing machines. It just has a few basic stitches in it. As you can see here, I'm going to be using the zigzag stitch. So I'm probably going to be putting it on C or D. The zigzag stitch is either C or D. Probably C. And then I'll probably be following it up with an A. C and A. I'm not sure what the length is going to be yet. I don't know. But yeah, it's just basic sewing machine. So anyway, that's where we're at, and that's what we've got. Alright, just this. Sorry about that, you guys. Hope it didn't make you too terribly sick. Just lost my thread. There's my thread. For mine, it's kind of interesting. So you put I'll show this to you. You put your spool on top. This is where you fill your bobbin. Since I don't need to do that, you just come right over here. It goes up under there, comes down around here, back up, catches on there, and then you thread the needle down there. Alright, so let me get this thing threaded for you, and we will go from there. Alrighty. Alright. Clip this off. Clip the end of this. Do. Oh, look at that. First time through. Oh, and I do have a different color in there right now. So I'm actually going to take this off and maybe I can show you this. So this is kind of where the bobbins go in here. So you have this little thing, you're not going to be able to see it real well. So this thing pops out, and so this thing pops out. Here's the bobbin with the turquoise that was in there. Yeah. So we're going to put the gray in. So here's what I do. I just kind of pop it in my little thing, and you see this part here, the floss has to come up. It's been a while. Alright, so we have this. Oh. Okay, so the floss, the thread needs to come out this hole. It needs to come out this hole right there. So the thread is, alright, so I'm going to pop this, dang it, I'm going to pop this back in the machine. Oh, that ain't gonna work. Bear with me. I'm trying to get my bobbin in the little bobbin thing. You guys. Come on. Come on, Mr. Bobbin thing. Okay. I'm actually gonna kind of clip that off. Alright, get that out of the way. So that bobbin thing goes in there. This comes over here. There we go. I'm going to cut extra off. I have lots of extra stringies. Alright, so in mine, you kind of stick it into this little thing here. This little arm kind of goes up in a little hole that's up at the top. You just slide it in. You have to lift this little flap to get it to lock in place. You kind of make sure the extra little stringy things are in there, and you close that up. And then you come back over here to the little wheelie bob here. You hold on to the thread at the top, and you hope. There's the gray thread. The gray thread's up. You pull it out a little bit. Take the orange. Whoops, the orange is like goofy. Alright, the orange is kind of weird. So we're going to have to pull this out. I did get the gray up though. The orange is right here. I'm going to have to rethread this through there. Okay, and that hooks through there. This comes up. Alright, and now I think we are in business. Alright, I'm going to put my little platform thingy here. Okay, so I am going to move some of this stuff out of the way and move the camera back so you can actually see what, see what I'm doing. So here we go. Alright, so we have this in place. I am going to slide this here. We are doing C zigzag stitch. I don't know, 2 zigzag it. Alright, I don't know if you can see this really well or not, but it is in my machine. I don't know if I can even get this to sit so you can actually watch what I'm doing. So we shall see. I need to get this, the pedal. I'm going to put the pedal on the floor. Let's get this up under here so the cards don't bother each other. I'm going to drop this on the floor. And I think we are good. Sorry about the weird angle on this, you guys. I'm just trying my best. Alright, so we have reverse it. It up, put it back through that hole. I think I can pull these out. I don't like leaving my pins in very long, so I will show you here in a minute once I get all of these pins pulled out, kind of where we're at. And I'm going to flip this and turn it so we can do down this other edge. I'm actually gonna make this like 1.5. Oop, I have to put the foot down. I'm going to put these pins back in here before cats get to them and step on them. Alright, flip this over and set it back down. Again, put my pins away. Alright. Flip it over. I'm on my last edge, you guys. Woohoo! And you can kind of see, you can see where the edge of the silk gauze is compared to the muslin. So here we go. All right. All right. Okay, and I think to kind of lock them in, I am going to move to the A and just kind of, it's kind of like more like a basting. It's like almost like you were serging the fabric. So now I've got it. I was on the C zigzag stitch at about 2.5. I'm doing A now. I changed A to 2. This is kind of how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do a straight stitch to kind of lock in the stitches. Move this. Okay. And I will kind of show you what this looks like. This is just to kind of lock in the stitches. Flip it around, 2 more edges to do. And this is how I would actually kind of technically serge my fabric as well, using just a basic sewing machine. You would do a zigzag stitch, and then do a straight stitch over the zigzag stitches to kind of lock the zigzag stitches into place. Whoops. Alright, put this down. Do. Alright, so I think I am done. So I get to snip, 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 and snip. It's already snipped. Do. Alright, so, alright, I'm going to move this back and show you the fabric, the finished product fabric. Alright, so here is what it looks like basted onto the muslin. So you can see the 40 count gauze is here. You can see the edges are basted. And now all I have to do is take this and pucker it out kind of like a pillow. So you can see the silk gauze is on here, and I can pucker it a little bit like a pillow. So you have the silk gauze, and then you have the muslin fabric. So the silk gauze, let's see if you can see that. The silk gauze.
You do not know how good you were today.
So my husband just got back in from walking Rosie. So anyway, you're supposed to pucker the front of it so you don't cut your silk gauze. You're supposed to pucker the front of it and then make a hole in the back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the back and we're going to trim really close to where the sewing is so we can actually stitch on the gauze. So what happened or didn't happen with Rosie?
Well, she decided she wanted to go for a random walk, and I was willing to do that. So we ended up on Maze, and then we started heading north, and I said, well, we're heading this way. We're just going to go pick up the Pokestop.
Okay, so the church?
No, where the kid died.
Oh, okay.
His memorial.
The memorial.
And then we headed home. Everything good. Yeah, we were by the Eisenhower and Moon, and some dog, I mean, I don't know what breed it was, It certainly had like the jowls and face of a Mastiff, but wasn't big enough. It was kind of a reddish brown, rusty brown. And, looks at Rosie, looks at me, starts paddling around, and it's like, go away! Go away! And I just reel Rosie right on in next to me. She didn't bark, she didn't freak out. The dog wandered off. I was very happy because that dog would have just eaten Rosie.
Yeah. She was good earlier today too.
Yeah,
with that.
She put up with the puppy. I wouldn't be afraid of the puppy hurting Rosie.
No. But I'm just glad that Rosie isn't snappy right off the bat.
Yeah.
She just kind of lays there and hunkers down with the puppy.
Yeah, she clearly didn't want to play, but she's not. She realizes it's a puppy.
Yeah.
Kuna, that's a service dog, and shouldn't have been doing that. I'll shut up now.
Yeah.
Good work, Rosie. You done good.
So Rosie, it was my in-laws' dog, and my husband and I kind of inherited her when the in-laws passed away earlier this year. So we become dog owners. We've been cat owners pretty much. My husband's been cat owner pretty much most of his life. I became a cat owner when I married my husband because I married into a family of cats. He had 2 when I first married him. But anyway, so we are now dog owners. And it's been kind of interesting for us, needless to say. My husband had dogs when he was growing up, but I had a Doberman when I was growing up. We put the Doberman to sleep when I was in 8th grade. But so Rosie is a Chihuahua mix. I will insert a picture of her here, and if not here, then at the end of the video for you. But she's been a sweet little dog. She's older. She's like 12 or 13 years old, give or take, and she's not really a playful dog, so she doesn't really like to play. She's not a cuddle dog. She's not really a lap dog. She'll let you pet her, and she really likes to be petted, but she has to kind of be in the mood for it. And so, she kind of gives the cats their space. The cats kind of give her their space. We have 6 cats with her. Up until her, the cats have never had a dog around all the time. And Rosie goes to work with my husband during the day, during the week. Because we don't think it would be fair to her to leave her in a kennel or a cage. And we don't have the money to board her during the day. So she just goes to work with my husband. She's an office dog. So her boss loves her to death. All his coworkers kind of like her. The late high school and early college kids that work for him, they all kind of love her to pieces. They think she's kind of funny. And, she has her own little mannerisms. But, yeah, she's been a good dog. Anyway, so you probably watched me cutting this out. I got the middle cut out. And as you can see, here's the front. So here's the little window of 40 count gauze that I have for you. And you can see my hand behind it. It's the 40 count gauze. So this is what I'm actually going to be stitching on for the Erica Michaels Silk Berry collection. This is what I'm actually going to stitch. And you can see it's a little Halloween piece. It has a haunted house and a witch and some pumpkins and some ghosts and stuff like that. It's going on 40 count silk gauze. This is not the first 40 count silk gauze piece that I've ever had. This is the first one that I've had that didn't come already mounted in a cardboard frame. So this was my first attempt at it, and I actually think I did really well at it. So I'm actually going to put it in the hoop for you so you can see it. I just have this basic hoop. This is an old hoop. I don't normally care for hoops. And I can't tell you, this one's made in the USA. It's a 10. So I don't know if you can see on the little clasp. Made in the USA, it's a 10. I'm not sure what that means. I think it's 10 inches. I think it's 10 inches around. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the hoop for you. And so you can see. Yeah, so now I know too, like the gray, the one with the gray thread. So we have the orange and the gray thread. The one with the gray thread is the back. of the fabric. So I'm going to want the orange side up. So basically what I'm going to do is just kind of center it as best I can, more or less, over the hoop. And then I'm going to take I don't normally stitch on hoops anymore, just because I've moved on to like Q-snaps and scroll frames, but apparently this works best in a hoop. So I'm just going to plop this in. I'm going to work in the well on this, so it's going to be easier for me to get to the back. So I'm going to work in the well. So I got this in the hoop. So now we just kind of stretch it. Get it taut. I think that's a pretty good tightness. Yeah. So there we go. It's all stretched in the hoop, ready to go. And yeah. I think that's going to be fun. Now all I need to find is a grime guard. So I don't have any Halloween grime guards. I have nothing like that that'll go with this. Most of my grime guards are kind of made for Q-snaps. So if anybody has a grime guard or has a grime guard that they can recommend, that would be great. I'm probably going to go on Etsy and look for one so I can kind of keep the muslin fabric kind of out of my way, kind of rolled up, you know, and out of my way. But there you have it. There's kind of how to mount 40 count gauze. You can see the gauze is there. Mount 40 count gauze onto muslin fabric so you can stitch on it using a hoop. So yeah, let me show you some of the threads. This pattern calls for weak dye works, and I have a majority of the threads. Let me see. So as we're going through this, let me dig out the colors, the threads. All right. So here we go. We have the color symbol. So you need Battleship. You need 10 yards. 10 yards of Battleship or 2 skeins. I don't know that I have Battleship. Oh, I do have Battleship. So Battleship. Battleship. Come on. Focus. Focus. Battleship. It's kind of a dark gray. I only have 1 skein of that. You need Buttercup, which I don't think I have. Is this Buttercup? So this is Buttercup. Weeks Dye Works Buttercup. It's kind of a light yellow. I'm guessing that is for the moon. You need Cayenne. Cayenne, red. Concord. I think that's one of the ones I don't have. Flatfish. Concord is one of the ones I don't have. Flatfish, I just had Flatfish. Flatfish is kind of a grayish green. Flatfish. Garrison Green. Garrison Green. Which is kind of a green. It's kind of an army green. So we have Garrison Green. London Fog. I got London Fog. This one is kind of a variegated grayish green. Greenish gray. London Fog. There you go. Then we have Onyx. They didn't have Onyx, so I have to get Onyx. Oscar. Here's Oscar. It's kind of a forest green. Oscar. Sweet Potato. They didn't have Sweet Potato. Tin Roof. Whiskey. I didn't have any whiskey, and they didn't have it either. White Lightning, which is kind of a gray, a very pale gray, kind of a variegated gray. Tin Roof is kind of a darker variegated gray. So the ones I'm missing whiskey, sweet potato, onyx, and another skein of battleship. So there's like 3 colors that I'm missing for this. So now that I've got this, I've got it started, everything's cool. Probably should have figured out the middle of this before I started. Anyway, so I have it here and it's ready to go. So I get to put this back. I'm going to put these back in the bag. I've got to get the rest of the floss sometime soon. And this kit is ready to be started. I have enough of the floss that I can get started on it. So this is probably one of my Dark October stitching projects. This Silk Berry collection, Scary Berry. So Dark October, and my fabric is ready to go. So yeah, I'm actually going to take this out of the hoop though until I'm ready to stitch it. If I can loosen up the hoop, there we go. Taking it out of the hoop. I just kind of wanted to show you, but I'm taking it out of the hoop, and I'm going to kind of fold it up and kind of put it in a project bag with the hoop. Along with the hoop, I'm going to fold it up so the silk gauze is out front, so I know. So it's going with the hoop and it's going with this. So here is one of my Dark October stitching patterns. Alright, so we're going on probably close to 45 minutes, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, but I'm going to go ahead and record a second video kind of showing you basting of the other 2 pieces of fabric that I want to baste so I can get them used. So anyway, I'm going to stop this recording here. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any other things you want to ask me, or you just want to say hi, leave a comment below, and I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you found this interesting. This was my first time basting silk gauze on a muslin, and I think I actually did a pretty good job. I have enough muslin left over for a few other pieces if I so desire to do it, and I think I'm actually going to kind of do it this way. I mentioned in my last Flostube video that I was probably going to start getting back into stitching on Aida. I'm actually going to turn this up so you can look at me. So yeah, I thought I might actually be going to, sorry about that if you're offended by alcohol. Not all of that is alcohol. I have sparkling grape wine and stuff up there. There's banana rum. My husband and I aren't heavy drinkers, but we do like to have a glass of wine on occasion with dinner and stuff. So this is just some of our pantry stuff. My husband's a Cubs fan, so you see his Cubs hat hanging out there. The figurines up in the cabinet up there on the wall, those are Red Rose Tea figurines. My mother-in-law, who passed away about 20 years ago, was a big Red Rose Tea drinker, and when she passed away, my sister-in-law went through all her Red Rose Tea figurines and took the ones that she didn't already have and gave me all the rest of them. So that wall mount thing was how my mother-in-law displayed her Red Rose Tea figurines. So of course, you know, my sister-in-law already had a display, so she gave that to me. So I do kind of collect Red Rose Tea figurines. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, and you have any that you think you might want, let me know. I have kind of a rather large bag of extras and duplicates, so I may be able to help you out. And if you can help me out, that would be great too, because I don't have all the sets. Like, I think I'm missing the with the months of the year set. I have the pumpkin up there and a clown. I think we have the turkey. We have some of the circus things, and don't mind the spider webs either. I'm not the world's greatest house cleaner. I try, but you know, we just leave cobwebs and stuff up. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just kind of sitting in my kitchen because this was the biggest place I had to set up. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it here for tonight for this video. I'm probably going to show you another quick clip on how I actually serge my stitching fabric using a zigzag stitch and a straight stitch on my basic Kenmore sewing machine. So anyway, if you got a lot out of this 40 count gauze thing on how to attach 40 count gauze to muslin using a basic sewing machine so you can stitch using a hoop, let me know how you liked it. Let me know if you got anything out of it. I think I did pretty good for my first real time at doing this, and I didn't have any practice doing it, so this was kind of on the fly, and let's see how this goes. And it actually went pretty well. So anyway, until next time, I hope you guys have a stitchy, a very nice stitchy week. I don't know, these videos might go up back to back. I don't know. It just really depends. So I'm not sure when I'll be coming back to you next. We're on day 92 of the Heaven and Earth Design Challenge. I actually made it to day 90, actually day 92. And I still have to put my stitches in for tonight, but I want to base this fabric and put all my stuff away before I do that. But now I'm ready to go for my for Dark October. I have a couple other things to work on, and a couple mill hook kits and stuff like that I can work on for Dark October. So you've seen the Scary Berrry and you've seen the Hunter's Moon. I'm probably once the 100th day of the 100 days of Heaven and Earth Design Challenge is over, Hunter's Moon is going away for a while. I started page 4. I started page 4. Well, I actually had page 4 kind of started, but I finished up the page on Sunday or Saturday for the 90th day. And I'm getting sick of that pattern, you guys. I'm just, yeah, I get into spurts. Some days I like it, some days I don't, and some days I'm like, oh my god, when is this going to be over? Anyway, it's almost over. We have 8 more days. Technically 9, I guess, if you count today. But, so yeah, I'm looking forward to being done with that. And then, of course, the first weekend in November is Camp Gotta Stitch. Or not the first weekend. The second weekend in November, the 9th through Veterans Day, the 9th through the 11th, is Camp Gotta Stitch up in Berlin, Ohio. And I'm looking forward to that. It's my first stitching retreat. It's my first stitching retreat that I'm going to, that my local needle workshop here in Columbus hosts. Cross my heart. They've been hosting this stitching retreat for like 20 years, and I've always wanted to go, and this year my husband said, with everything going on, just pay for it and go. So that's what I'm doing this year. So anyway, I will get on with basting the rest of the fabric in a different video. So I hope you like what you see, and leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Give me a thumbs down if you don't. Leave me questions, leave me comments. Tell me what you like, tell me what you didn't like. Ask me a question. Ask me something else. What's going on? That kind of thing. I wasn't going to do a tag in this. I don't know. There's several tags floating around there, and I may do one soon, but I don't know. Anyway, so that's it. This video is a little over an hour. I know my videos have been running a little long, and I don't apologize for anything because, well, you can watch and you can jump around, whatever you need to do, watching little bits. Anyway, so take care. Keep on keeping on. I know I was trying to say that. Keep on keeping on. Stitch all the things, baste all the things. Get into October, you guys. It's October. And this year, Columbus's Trick-or-Treat Day is on October 31st, which is what it should be. For those of you that don't know, Ohio, well, Columbus, especially the Columbus area, and places around Ohio, they don't always trick-or-treat on Halloween, the 31st. They do what's called Baker's Night. Sometimes it's on the 26th, the 27th, the 28th. It depends on when Halloween falls. If Halloween falls on a Friday night or a Saturday night, they like to not, I think even Sunday, they like to not let the kids trick-or-treat on that day because of safety reasons. It's the stupidest thing in the world to me because growing up, my trick-or-treat night was always on Halloween, and I think that's the way it should be. So my husband and I, we give out full-size candy bars to the kids that trick-or-treat in our neighborhood. I think our banner year was about 5 or 6 years ago. I think we had about 50 to 60. We normally have 25 to 30, so for us to give out, full-size candy bars, it really isn't that expensive. Target and the grocery stores and Walmart and places like that, they normally carry boxes of 18 full-size candy bars, give or take 18 to 20, for like 10, 15 bucks, whatever. So they're a little less than $1 a piece, and it makes the kids' days when they walk up to your door to trick or treat, and you give them a choice of a full-size candy bar. We also, the last couple of years, we've gotten comics. The comic shop that my husband likes to go to, the Laughing Ogre, here in Columbus, Ohio, they give out these packets of comic books, and you get like 10 comic books for $1 or something like that. So my husband will pick up a couple bucks of those. We have a couple of Matchbox cars. My husband's friend is into this game. My husband's friend Jeff is into this game now, where you take Matchbox cars and you modify them. You give them guns and turrets, and upgrade them and armor them and do all kinds of stuff. And then you do a kind of a miniature battle with the cars on a tabletop. And so my husband's been buying Matchbox cars. So he bought a couple of Matchbox cars, and he figures he'll give the kids options when they come to the door in case they can't have candy or they don't want candy. They can have a comic book or Matchbox car. And I think we might get either some like little sticker books or something for the girls, or Halloween erasers, or Halloween pencils and pencil toppers. I don't know. We'll figure something out. And it also kind of goes along with that whole teal pumpkin thing, where you can offer options to kids that that have allergies. That's kind of gaining momentum as a movement here too. Anyway, I've babbled on long enough, so I will let you guys go for tonight. Thank you for watching, and I hope you got something out of this, and I hope to talk to you soon. Take care, and just enjoy October, you guys. The weather's getting cooler, and it's pumpkin spice season. I think I'm going to make some pumpkin spice latte. I have some of that Starbucks Via instant packet stuff, and it's not too bad. I'm not completely a pumpkin spice everything, but I do enjoy it. So anyway, take care. Happy October. I hope you guys are enjoying the change in the weather. Finally, it's starting to cool down here in Columbus. I have to probably mow my yard one more time, but yeah. Anyway, it's getting to be that time of year, you guys. So take care. We'll see you soon, and just take it easy. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.